together. So I'm going to kick things off today. Today's not going to act like, housekeeping or, going over like incentives or comp plans or what's happening in March. It happens to be March. We're going to treat this like a straight up training. So for those of you that don't know me, hi, my name's Serena. I am a 42-year-old perimenopausal military wife with two children, almost 12 and almost 7. I'm born and raised in a little town called Orange, or a little county called Orange County, California. My whole life, I got ripped out of California. On April 1st, I got a call from my husband saying, "You're moving to New Jersey." Well, it was April 1st. So I was like, yeah, right. That's a lie. April Fools. And he said, "Nope, we are moving to New Jersey." So for my first time ever, I was plucked out of my warm, cozy space and moved to New Jersey. From there, I was there for almost 3 years. I built an awesome team. Courtney is where I met Courtney. I'm just collecting like really pretty souvenirs. And then 3 years after that, we got the call that we were moving to Virginia. So here I am in rural Virginia, about 45 minutes outside of DC. Why am I telling you this? Because it just helps. This is my story, right? And you all have stories. And at the end of this call, you are going to have a challenge. And I'm guessing I just buried the lead. So today we're going to go over, first of all, we already just went through where everyone lives, just so everyone knows. But they're not on an island. We got lots of people in California. Um, where's Megan? Megan is in Oklahoma.
I
I don't think anyone at Shackley is in Oklahoma. I'm just- I don't think anyone's in Oklahoma except Megan and some donkeys and some cows and some horses. Laura's in New Jersey. Awesome, awesome. So
I'm
that's
in Oklahoma.
and Desiree's in Oklahoma. That's how there's two people. So it's important to know, where we all are because of course we're working our businesses in our homes, but you all want to know that we're all on the same page. Whether you are on a path and have different goals, that's totally fine. And that's why we're all here for different goals, but we're all still together for one common goal, which is to bring true wellness to our communities. So today we're going to go over some things. I'm going to be sharing my screen a lot. Feel free to take screenshots or write down notes. Sometimes taking a screenshot does not last as long. When you write something down, you tend to remember it more. So I highly suggest maybe even doing both. And at the end of each segment that we're going through today, I'm going to ask you, does this make sense? And you're either going to like nod and like wave, do a shimmy or a shake, or comment in the chat. Yes, it makes sense. My husband is a Marine. He's been a Marine for 20 years, and they're saying is what no man left behind. So no hot woman left behind. I want everyone to understand these concepts. And if you don't, then I will have to learn how to present or say them in a different way. Okay. I'm getting text messages. I should turn that off. All right, here we go. So, if it makes sense, you're going to say yes. If it doesn't, you're going to say it doesn't make sense. Okay. We're going to go over the sales cycle today. We are going to go over kind of just taking that sales cycle and putting it into what a daily tracker looks like. Then we're going to talk about what it means to be a legacy leader. From there, we're going to move on to a challenge. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay, awesome. So let's start. Zoom user saying yes. Let's start by opening up the sales cycle. So who am I? My story is I graduated from Cal Poly Pomona and I have a degree in PR and a dance minor. And right when I graduated school, I was like so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I was 21 years old and I thought, what can I do that I can make the most amount of money? And everyone's like, you got to go into sales. I'm like, okay, what type of sales can I go into that is going to be so hard? It's going to teach me everything I need to know about sales. I became a car salesman. So at 21 years old, I became a car salesman. And within 6 months, I had sold 40 cars. And if someone came to me and they were like, how is this little girl? They even called me that. I was so offended, especially at 21. I was offended quite often. How did she do that? Right? It was so simple for me to take what I had learned from a sales cycle and really spin it in direction of relationship building. So once I had conquered my 6 months of car sales, I was like, what else can I sell that's really, really hard? I started selling yellow books. I sold yellow page advertising. We don't even have those anymore. Okay. I use them to sit on to grow a little taller because my feet don't touch the floor. I'm only 5'2". All right. So I met a woman when I was at Yellow Book, and her name is Z Slingsby. I call her Zaina. That's how I know. We were 22 years old, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and ready to conquer the Yellow Book advertising world together. We locked arms. We decided we were going to be buddies. At the time, accountability wasn't really a thing. We're like, let's just crush this together. Okay. So we went off and we did just that. We, met all of these goals, and we hit the pavement and we sold Yellow Page advertising. Why am I telling you this story? Well, because Dana is one of my very, very best friends. And ultimately, when I got into network marketing, she was one of the very first women who I said, you were doing this with me. Okay. I didn't say, hi, I have something to ask you. I think that you'd be good at this. Would you like to look at a video that I put together? Okay, I didn't say any of that. I said, you are going to do this with me, and we are going to crush this just as much as we crushed hitting the pavement selling Yellow Page advertising. Long story longer, she joined me at Beachbody, and I got a call one day 4 years ago now, probably exactly 4 years ago to the T today. And she said, I'm leaving Beachbody and I'm taking you with me. Talk about the exact same role, right? Just reversed. I'm leaving Beachbody and I'm taking you with me. Well, of course, my ego was like, not a chance. I'm still cashing a really awesome residual paycheck. I am super overwhelmed and I am very, very much uninspired being here because I saw the writing on the wall where Beachbody was going. I was like, but no, like I'm going to die bleeding blue. I can't start all over. I'm 38 years old. Yes, all of the things that I was doing is starting to not work, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I just have to stay here. But I did not say that. I did not say that because that's what your ego would say. Your ego would keep you comfy, cozy, and sweats because you feel good. Your ego would say, nah, don't show up to work today because that feels hard and that is out of my comfort zone. But your badass, excuse my language, your true self, the true self that you were born with without ego is like, open up the muscle between your ears and just listen to what she has to say. So I was like, okay, I'm ready. I'll listen. Whoever you want me to talk to, I'll do all the things. So fast forward again, long story longer, I joined her in business. So she joined me at Beachbody. She was a rock star on my team, elite, all the things. We rose through the ranks together. And then I joined her at Shackley. So that's where we are today. I have been in this business for over 20 years. You, yes, are in the shares business. You are in sharing your journey, inviting to your journey, and helping be relatable to people so that they can be attracted to you. Yes. But if you have some clear rails as to how the sales cycle goes, almost every single conversation that you have with somebody, you should feel successful coming out of it, no matter what happens, whether you are ghosted and whether it's a no and whether it's a yes. All three of those should have the exact same response. Okay. There's something that we learn in yoga and it's called equanimity. And that's called taking in, or something that I teach. It's called taking the good and the bad the same. So as the good comes in, you're not like bouncing off the walls, building all this hype, just feeling so on top of the world, want to share with everybody. You're like, cool, this is awesome. What a great opportunity for me to level up. This feels really good. Yeah, cool. Let's keep moving. But when you're hit hard and you're knocked down and you're told no and you're beaten up, you take it with that exact same response. You're like, cool, good, learning opportunity, growth opportunity, just as another stepping stone, equanimity. All right, so here we go. I'm going to share my screen with our complete sales cycle that I really would love everybody to honor. And we are going to start with the differences of social media and online conversations. All right, so give me a thumbs up when you can see my screen. Why is I don't see a screen share? Here we go. Can you guys all see that? The difference is cool. Awesome. Thanks, Laura. All right. So the differences in social media and online conversations, they're different. They're very, very different. Your landing pages or the posts that you do on Facebook, your stories, your reels, your goal is to just be relatable. Your goal is to resonate with your niche because you're not trying to resonate or be relatable to a 65-year-old man. Your goal is to resonate and be relatable with whatever or whoever your niche is. And I would be willing to bet that your niche, spoiler alert, is you. Okay? Because you're in the business, you're not selling cars, you're not selling Yellow Book, you're not selling people as a recruiter. You're selling things that worked for you. So that's most likely going to be the people that you are going to help. Okay. So when you are on Facebook and you're like, I need to do a post, you're drawn to sell right away, especially as a new person. You're like, you feel this deep desire to sell them. Stop. Just stop. Stop selling in your posts and your reels and your stories and simply tell stories. That's all you're there to do. You're there to tell your stories. A lot of them. Does this make sense? Awesome. If it doesn't, jot in the chat. Okay, awesome. So you're there to tell stories. Don't try and sell anyone on your posts. Don't do it. Should get my phone. I'm sure I have it screenshotted and shared in this slide, in these slides. Let's hope I do. All right, so you may and you should every, I would say, third to fourth post, invite people to join you. You don't want to invite every time you show up on social media. You are going to intimidate people and they are going to unfollow you. But you should every now and again sprinkle in an invite. I like to use the words lock arms. You can find your own verbiage for what matches your personality. I like to use, hand in hand, things like that, because as women, especially in the season of life that we're in, we're missing community. A lot of women are missing community. So words that resonate with your niche. Invite, to lock arms, join forces, whatever you need to say. All right, so the differences in social media. Oh, good, I did put this in here. The differences in social media and online conversations, right? Like when I say that, I mean social media, what you're putting out there. Like it's the front page of the newspaper, your landing page, your posts, your reels, your stories. That's what I say when I'm talking about social media. But your online conversations are behind the scenes, the messages, your text messages, your emails, things like that. Back and forth connection. All right. So this is a particular person at Shaklee. They've actually been with Shaklee for, gosh, I don't know, way longer than I have, like 10 years or something. And I noticed this post yesterday and I had to screenshot it for a learning opportunity for all of us. So this is what she showed. This is what she posted. And you're going to read this and you're going to be like, wow, that's really good. I am telling you right now, I shoot straight from the hip. This is terrible. Okay. It's a lot of words, kind of pretty. It makes you stop and read. But what is she doing right out the gates? She's trying to sell you. She's absolutely trying to sell you. Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, okay? And you're reading it and you're just like, okay, all right, I guess. And you continue to go down. Here's what you'll learn. Cool. You can win some prizes. Great. All she did was provide you with junk mail that you got in the mail. Okay, you opened up your mailbox and you got some junk mail and it said right out the gate, have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like a big pharma commercial, right? But instead, what she should have done was wrapped everything that group, everything that you were going to learn, or all of those X's. First of all, X's, gosh, like your eyes just like that's supposed to hit you hard and make you feel terrible. She could have told a story about herself going through all of those things. Maybe even picking one of those things and really diving in deep and sharing a story that was relatable with the people she wanted to help. And then what? Then she invited the women that it resonated with, her story resonated with, to lock arms, right? Lock arms. Like, I'm inviting you to an opportunity to do something together with a path and a simple plan and maybe some fun prizes, because I know showing up to something on a random Tuesday at 5 o'clock is challenging as a mom. Okay. So does that make sense? Does this make sense where we don't want to do things like this? And I obviously you can't see who she is, but maybe you want to take a screenshot to see that when you start to sit down and you want to put together an advertisement, shy away and instead put together a story. Yes, good, awesome. Okay, let's move on. All right. So the differences in social media and online conversations. So now we're behind the scenes. Now we're in messages. Okay. And this is where it gets super juicy. This is where it gets really good. Okay. Those messages that you're, that rapport and the relationships that you're making on social media, or just even in your community, whether it's a text message with a baseball mom, is really where the magic happens. When you sit down to, or let's use this analogy. When you walk into a restaurant, and the hostess hands you a menu, and she's like, "How many in your party?" And you're like, "Just me. I'm here to have lunch." And she hands you a menu. She leads you to your table, and you sit down and you open up the menu. And she's like, "Okay, your server will be right with you." And you're looking through the menu and you're figuring out what sounds good, and nobody comes by to take your order. Okay. Social media, when you're doing the post and you're sharing your story, that's you being a hostess. That's you being a hostess. Then you become a server, and that will resonate by the end of this, I hope. Serve. Then you become a server. But if you don't ever go to serve, chances are you've missed an opportunity to help someone. Because it takes a long time in this business to simply run a business where people are solely coming to you to buy. I have been doing this for 12 years now, and every now and again, attraction marketing works in my favor, where I put something out and someone buys. And I consider that a blessing from God, and it is a few and far between. So if you expect to sit down on social media and do a post, and you're like, no one bought, no one wanted anything. Well, why aren't you making magic? Why aren't you behind the scenes? Why aren't you reaching out to women that you want to help and reiterating them to that post that you just made? You know, you can start a conversation very easily by saying, "Hey, Laura, I live in Virginia. Where do you live?" With somebody who maybe liked your post, with somebody who maybe commented on your post. That is how I open up dialogue right out the gates. I ask them a question they know the answer to, and they respond. So when you are in these conversations on social media or in a text or in whatever, or in real life, it is solely about them. That's when you get to make it all about them. That's when you get to have that giver's mindset. That's when you get to serve. Does that make sense? Okay. So here is what you came for. All right. Let's go through the sales cycle. All right. So you can't just open up your messages and be like, "I found someone to message, and I'm going to invite them to our 7-day cleanse group." All right. So that's called cold messaging. And I highly advise you don't do that. All right. That's like, "Hey girl, hey" messages. Okay. So you do want to have some warmth, some warm leads. And the way that you generate warm prospects is by sharing your story, and sharing your story every single day. A different story. You have 9 million of them. When you share your story, whether it be, with a woman that you're, with your hairdresser, whether it be with your neighbor, whether it be on social media, you're gaining trust because they're learning more about who you are. That's what you want. That's why you show up on social media, to gain trust and relatability Be professional and bold. Then once that happens, then you're like, okay, all right, now I get to serve. Now I'm here. Now I'm here to basically come take your order. That's rapport. You're going to spend 5 to 10 or 2 to 3 sentences of simple relationship building. And I mean simple. I'm telling you, if you go through my phone, you are going to find me saying, hey, I live in Virginia. Where do you live? 9 million times. Because one, they know the answer to that question. And two, it creates that ping pong back and forth. They've already liked a post that I did. They already maybe even commented on something that I said, but I'm not going to go into their messages and I'm not going to say, thanks for the love on my post. I'm never going to say that. In fact, thanks for your support on my post. I'm never going to say that. I'm just going to ask them a question about them. Don't make it about you. Don't say, thanks so much for the love. That's making it about you. Relationship building, 2, 3 sentences. Then you get to get real juicy. Once you've built that rapport where they feel comfortable talking to you, then and only then are you able to be like, okay, let's get back to just you. Because there might be some ping pong where you're sharing, they're going to say something about them and you're like, oh my gosh, I have that too. Or we lived there also. There's going to be some relationship building there. Always refer back to them. Discovery. Then it's like, okay, let's get down to business, or let's make this about, let's get back to you. How are you feeling? How are you feeling right now? Let's just start there. How are you feeling right now? A lot of emotions are going to come up when you ask that question. And if you build rapport to the best of your ability, the floodgates are about to open. So be ready for that. How are you feeling? If someone were to ask you that question right now, you might smile or you might even cry. Because when was the last time somebody asked you how you were feeling? Right? So once they're done with saying, like, I feel, it might even take a little bit, right? They're gonna be like, oh, I'm tired. I have 5 kids. They're driving me insane. There's not enough time in the day for me. I'm tired. Then what do you say? I feel that. You're my hero. Tell me more. What else? What else are you going through? What else? Okay. You want them to open up more. Again, it's always about them, but your response is very genuine. And if it's not, then you shouldn't even be having these conversations, but you're very genuinely, wow, like I feel that. I heard what you said. And then compliment. You're doing a great job. Or again, you're my hero. Something like that. Tell me more. Okay. Once they have told you more, and trust me, if you've done all the above correctly, you are, again, more floodgates. Like Noah's Ark is out there. Like the floods just keep coming. It just keeps coming. Okay. Then you get to be excited and upbeat and cheer them on because you are already assuming that what you have is going to help them, because most likely what you have is going to help them. Okay. So you're bringing them that, like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so wonderful. I'm so excited for you. Tell me, when are you looking to? Okay. So a lot of people in sales and a lot of people in network marketing, they hit people's pain points a lot. All right. It's 2025. The last thing people want is to have you reiterate what their pains are, because they already know. But you know what they don't know? Write this down. They don't know how to flip the script on their pain points. They don't even know what the opposite of their pain looks like. That's where you come in. That's magic. So if somebody comes to you and says, they just start out by saying they're tired because they have 5 kids and there's not enough hours in the day. And you're like, no, okay, I feel that. You're my hero. You've got this, but tell me more. Well, actually, I'm struggling like with digestion. Like my stomach hurts all the time. And also, I wake up with night sweats and I don't want to have sex with my husband. Like they are going to give it to you. So those were all painful. You take each one of their pain points and you flip them into their pleasure points. So, what is the opposite of feeling tired? Having more energy. What is the opposite of having, being bloated and having indigestion and having, tummy problems? It's regularity and going potty and going to the bathroom every day. So you want to flip their pain points into pleasure points and you write those out. Every single one that they give you, you're like, okay, so let's get down to it. When do you want to feel, big word there. When do you want to feel pleasure point, pleasure point, pleasure point, pleasure point? When? That is such a pivotal part of the sales cycle to know when your person, the woman, let's just be honest, the woman that you're wanting to help, when they want to change. Because if you don't, and she's just messaging you because she just wants therapy and this is helping to talk with you, but she's not ready until next year. You know what I mean? You got to know when, and that's going to help steer you into an organic close. All right, cool. What do you do when she says when? You say it right back. Okay. You repeat what they said back. Awesome. So as soon as possible, you want to get your groove back, right? We're just going to nickname you Stella. Stella wants to get her groove back yesterday. I've got you, sister. I'm going to come up with a simple plan and a sustainable routine to move you feeling pleasure points. As often as you can, reiterate what they say to you as often as you can. So when people, you already know, right? Say, you already know the more you see something or the more you read something or the more you say something, the more you believe it. So the more you're repeating back what they're saying to you, the more it's starting to already come to fruition. They have already closed themselves. They're just waiting for you to hand them the piece of paper to sign at the dotted line. Then, and only then, once they've given you discovery, you know what they need and you know when they need it by, are you going to present how you want to help? And if you're here and you're like, oh my gosh, our catalog has like 300 things in it. I have no idea. I'm not an expert here. Good. You are absolutely not an expert here. I'm not an expert here. But what I do know is when I came over here, we put together a bundle that helps almost everyone because it is personalized. So personalized, pure, and potent supplements are going to change the game for everyone's day to day. Life Shake is absolutely going to change the game for everybody because there is not a Beyond Organic protein meal replacement supplement that has the most amount of leucine in it. Leucine is the most powerful BCA that ever existed. And I'm almost worried, like how has somebody not put out something on the market that even compares? So BCAs, if you don't know, are branched chain amino acids. They help you retain muscle and burn stored fat. And if you're not taking in BCAs, especially if you exercise, you're basically playing roulette with your muscles and you're playing roulette with stored fat. If you're not taking in BCAs, you are most likely burning the muscle you made yesterday or last week in your workout, but you don't want to do that, right? You want to burn the fat. Leucine ensures that. So Life Shake, Meology, and a free gift. That's the Ready, Set, Wellness bundle. This is where you get to get creative. The Ready, Set bundle, this is where you get to start like learning and becoming an expert in the niche that you want to help is that third free gift because there's a few of them. You're going to suggest what you think is going to help them get to their pleasure points. Is it a 7-day cleanse because they're super hormonal and you know that that 7-day cleanse is going to reset your factory settings and help balance your hormones? Is it collagen because they're going through joint pain? Is it sustained energy boost because they are struggling to get through the day? What is it? That's when you get to get creative. All right. So you present. I have a plan. I have a plan. We're going to do this together. Okay. What you did there was you took control. You're the professional, but you're going to do it together. They don't feel alone. Here's what we're going to do. And then you're going to tell them. At the end of a very short brief explaining what they're going to do, are you going to say, so what do you think? What do you think about that? No, you're not. Because if I asked you, what are you thinking? Your head would spin and you would shut the phone and you would leave the conversation immediately. Because as women, all we do all day long is think. That's all we do. We have to think. We overthink. We overthink. We talk ourselves out of things when we think. But what do we do the best? We feel. We feel the best. Maybe we don't feel the best, but we sure as heck know how to feel. So I say, how does that make you feel? Or how does that sound? You want to take the word think out of your repertoire when you're asking a question to someone else. It doesn't mean you take out the word think from your vocabulary. You're still going to say things like, I was just thinking about you. You're not going to say, I was just feeling about you. Those words are not interchangeable. Does that make sense? That would be funny. I was just feeling about you. How are you doing? Okay. All right. Let's go through some do's and don'ts of follow up, and then we're gonna I'll wrap this up and send you on your merry way. So when you're following up and you're closing, that's just another word for like rapport discovery. That's just another word with building relationships with people, really is. But I'm gonna give you just some nuances and just some tiny tricks that you can take in and add to your arsenal. So you always want to be bold and authentic, right? You never want to be fake or salesy. When you say words like, I'm just checking in, you just turned yourself into a salesperson, right? So we don't want to say just checking in. It just sounds like you've got a to-do list and all you got to do is cross off their name and check them off. All right. You always want to dazzle with brevity, I say. So you want to be short and to the point. People don't have a lot of time, especially to read or listen to voice memos or heck, even have conversations in real life. So if you need practice with being short and to the point, practice. You don't want to send the same messages over and over. You don't want to say, hey, I live in Virginia. Where do you live? And it's all left on unread and you just keep saying it back and forth and over. You don't want to follow up and say, I'm just following up. I'm just following up, just checking in over and over. Okay. We don't want to do that. Of course, we do want to do what we say we're going to do. If we say we're going to get back to them in the morning at 8 o'clock because they message you at 10:30, and of course you're in bed, but you're really excited about this new beginning, you're like, I'm putting you on my VIP list right now. I will reach out to you at 8:30 tomorrow morning. You best be sure you reach out to them at 8:30 in the morning because this is your business and all you have is your word. All right. Do use humor and be funny. And if you're not funny, get a joke book. What does being funny do? It helps people feel comfortable. Okay. It doesn't mean make fun of yourself. It doesn't mean say dirty jokes. It just means be lighthearted. and humorous. It helps people feel comfortable. We already know we don't ask people what they're, what are they thinking? We don't follow up multiple times a day or even every day. We allow people space, but we do follow up forever till they cross over to those pearly gates because there's somebody that you're dying to have follow up with you. There was somebody that you reached out to that you asked them a question about, I don't know, what outfit they were wearing, and they never got back to you. But if they were to get back to you, you'd be like, bam, add to cart. But you're not going to go search for that dress by yourself. You're not going to go search for whatever you were looking for by yourself. You're waiting for them to reach out to you. Okay. Let's see. We already got that. We already got that. We already know. We do want to ask people how they're feeling. If you're struggling with just where to start, there's your place to start. Ask people how they're feeling. We do, when we're following up, we say words like, I wanted to get back in touch with you ASAP. We don't say, I'm circling back, following up, just checking in. You want to create that urgency, like, whoa, you're on my list. I wanted to get back in touch with you ASAP. Blah, 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 whatever you came to say. You want to get them excited. You want to be upbeat. Again, you want to reiterate their pleasure points. I remember when you told me that you were ready to start feeling XYZ. How are you? Notice that I didn't say, are you ready to do that? Notice I didn't say, are you ready to buy today? Is today the day? Nope. I said, how are you? Why did I say, how are you? It's a question they know the answer to. And they almost feel so pulled to respond to you because they're like, oh crap, how am I? Oh, I'm doing good. They're like, it's already coming out of their mouth. I'm doing good. Bam, you just got an active audience. Okay. Does this make sense? Does any of this make sense? Is all okay. Good. All right. All right. Before I tell you about your challenge, I'm going to stop my share and I'm going to finish by talking about what it means to be a legacy leader, where you're not going to be in this business for 3 months and then bail, where you're not going to just tiptoe your foot in, see how it works, and then go try something new or go to a new company. All right. So this is how you stand out in this business. I just want to take like just a hot minute. It's 11:11 if that's your thing. Just a minute to give you some guidance on what I believe that you should be doing right now in your business through the lens of a legacy leader. I've been here for a while. I've been doing this for a while now, and I get to see and watch other people do this business too. And they don't stand out. So how do you stand out as a leader in this business? If I were you right now, and guess what? I am you, because I am in those glorious trenches of this world doing the exact same activities that you are. But let's see if we can just tweak them a bit to help transform your business. So if I were you, and again, I am, I would focus first on serving people instead of selling them. I would focus on acting through the lens of that legacy, long-term leader. What does that even mean? It just means that we're different. You want to be different. You don't want to be what the 99% of network marketers are doing in this space right now. You want to be different. So what makes a legacy leader unique or special? Well, it's built on the idea that you are here to lead, whether that's your team or your prospects, you are here to lead with heart. There's a difference between leading and there's a difference between leading with heart. And if you want a really good book that helps with that, it's called Heart Led Leader. You are here to serve and you're here to grow. Those are the three ideas of being a legacy leader. Lead with heart, serve your people, and always be growing, grow. So It is a radically different way to think and approach this business. And I am telling you, that is where most people fail because they have a sales mindset and not a service mindset. So when you understand that the more that you serve, the more you grow. It's like a double whammy. You grow as a person and you grow as a leader, and your team and your income and your impact will grow along with you. The reason why a lot of us might be struggling is because we've been focusing on ourselves first. How can I hit my goals? How can I benefit my family? How can I benefit my bank account? But when you're only focused on yourself, you will always struggle with fear. So in this case, it's all about that next sale. It's all about hitting that rank advancement, or it's all about getting that next recruit at all costs. This way of thinking is actually causing you to constantly feel like you're missing out, or you're not scooping up every opportunity to work. You have a scarcity mindset. So today, all together, we get to shift our mindset. And I'm telling you, this shift in business and even in life is life-changing. You have to make love and focus on others first. You get to love people. You don't have to serve the people you don't want to serve. That's the beauty of this business. You get to serve the people that you want to work with, that you want to help. You get to love on them and you focus on them first. Fear will never allow you to serve or put other people before yourself. I believe that this is an opportunity right now, unlike anything that we have ever seen before. This business, this opportunity is bananas. Seriously, like ever. And it's here. It's happening here right now. So the opportunity for each of us to stand out as leaders, to be different, and to be saying and doing the things that most others won't is so crucial. So now is the time that we get to serve. It is not the time for us to sell as a network marketer. So over these last few weeks or even few months, we've had an influx in leaders join, and I have been seeing a lot of different tactics as a way to push our products and our business down people's throats. So I'll just say that, down people's throats. You need my products to boost your immune system. You don't want to get sick. What's that? Fear. Bam, fear. You need my product for self-care during this really tough time. People having a problem with the current world state. You need this business as a second source of income because you probably are going to lose your job. Fear. Most of these posts come across as an I told you so manner of speaking. And somehow they think that this is the right thing to do. That these messages that are dripping in proposed fear, that's what's going to make people want to buy and join you. I have news for you. You are digging yourself deeper and deeper into a hole. All it's going to do is feed the negative perception that is already out here for our profession. People don't look down on network marketing. They look down on network marketers, right? Hear that again. They don't look down on a business that can be life-changing. They look down on the people that are pushing it down their throats. So what the world needs right now is not another sales pitch or a marketing promotion. I can guarantee you that their news feeds and their email inboxes are overflowing with that already. I know mine are. They need something much more important. They need something that you are uniquely qualified to give them by being a part of this team. They need a glimmer of hope and inspiration, and they need you to be the light. I know that this sounds super, super cliche, but what people really need right now is what? It's love. Does this make sense? Okay, so how do I work my business? Where do we go from here? This is how I run my business every single day. And some people only have a very short period of time to work. So maybe this is something that if your goals are $200 to $500 a month, maybe you only do this once a week. If your goals are $500 to $1,000 a month, you do this 3 times a week. If your goals are $3,000 to $30,000 a month, you do this every day. All right. So here is our my daily plan. And because you joined this free training, whatever day you are working, you're going to use this activity tracker. And it is going to help you feel empowered because as women, we love to cross off things off a list. Okay. So you're here to share, right? Start new conversations, help them get information. We just went through the whole sales cycle. It's all right there. Very simple to do this. Whatever days you choose to work, those are the days that get X's. Add 3 people to your social media following. So important because those new people that you're adding, they're going to get to see your posts. People that you've been friends with for 20 years, you're probably hidden. So add those new people. Do a post on social media that connects or showcases the benefits of a healthy lifestyle. Cross that off and tell a story. Tell a story. It should come free flowing for you. If you think, I don't know what story I have. You do. You just need a hot second to look in the mirror. Okay, so you're going to go through the daily activity tracker all the way to the bottom. And if you have not developed leadership or sponsored a new ambassador, circle it, right? It's still something that you are wanting to do. You just didn't do it this week. All right. So I'll finish off by just giving you a little challenge. I'm sure you already got a sneak peek of the challenge, but today's March 14th. And if you're watching the recording, whatever day it is for you is the day you get to do this. You are going to tell a story today. Whether it's to a friend, whether it's on social media, whether that's to a stranger, you're going to tell a story today. But in order to tell that story, you have to figure out what it is. Is it a story about resilience? Is it a story about struggle? Is it a story about growth? Does it need to be a book? No. It's an opportunity for people to connect with you. Are you a mom? Are you a wife? Are you a businesswoman? Who are you? And think about a story. If you need inspiration, you almost can always count on my Facebook page to have a story, I would say 1 to 2 times per week. That's typically how I tell my stories, 1 to 2 times per week. If you need to get your creative juices flowing by reading a story that I have shared, feel free to work through that prompt. Facebook is where I tell a lot of my stories. Instagram is where I tell a lot of my, it's very short bursts. I get much more detailed on Facebook. Steal whatever you want. Okay. So that's your challenge, right? I had to move some things around today, but I really wanted to get on here to see you, to hug you, to give you hopefully some words of wisdom, some golden nuggets, but it comes at a cost because I want to help move your business forward. So if I need to be the gentle, bold nudge that says, today is the day you show up, then so be it. All right. So comment in the chat right now if you're in. And if you're not in, that's totally okay too. Nikki's in, Megan's in, Holly's in, Laura's in. We're all in. We're in. All right. So, if anyone has any questions or comments, Lori's in. Feel free, open up, unmute, ask any questions. Did you take some notes? Was it like whiplash? Whew. I'll post the recording to this so you can always come back and like check in and be like, what was she saying again about that one thing? You come back and listen. You'll get to see your face, right? Your face is up right now on the screen. But yeah, so you can use our Facebook page as a way to be like, oh, I did it. So you already said I'm in, and now you get to finish with I did it. Whether you just simply write I did it on our Facebook page, or you actually copy and paste or screenshot the story that you share, or you say, I was with my neighbor today and I told her a story about the time when. Just a story. I tell you what, it could be a story about falling off your bike and how you got back up. I'm not even kidding. We are here to get better. The way to get better in this business is to get better at telling stories. Tell a story about how you were on this call right now trying to move your business forward, and your sweet young boy the whole time was pulling on you and mommy, mommy, mommy. But did that stop you? No. You still were here. You stayed the whole time. All right, friends, let's take a picture. Look at those babies. This is my favorite thing. All right. If you want to put your camera on, that's cool. I think Megan can't, but that's okay. All right. On the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Coffee in hand, tea in hand, tequila in hand, whatever your thing is. Happy freaking Friday, you guys. I can't wait to read your stories, hear about them. Go forth and do. Bye, guys.